Okay, I'm going to attempt to watch the video while I'm doing this. So here I am walking with the 600-pound yoke. I'm fairly unstable. Chris told me that. It felt really light, but I guess those shoes and in combination with the little bit of a dip in the alleyway combined for a little bit of instability for me. So I'll switch to Chucks. So here I'm beginning the medley, which I totally sucked at and was definitely not prepared for at all. As you'll see, my kettlebell swing form could definitely be improved. It didn't really feel that heavy at first, but I could just tell that my conditioning definitely wasn't there. It changed at the beginning of the at the day to where it was going to be 15 swings, 3 sets of 15 swings instead of 5 sets of 10. So, a few more reps each set, but less overall sets. I had only practiced really 5 sets of 10, and it had been a few weeks since I had done them, and I'd never combined them with anything. So that was a mistake. So we'll watch for the next few minutes as this is kind of a train wreck of a medley for me. I'm not feeling too bad right here, but I start to feel my form starts to completely fall apart, especially on the third set. So the kettlebell's 100 pounds, the keg was 125, the sandbag was 125, and then I had to carry the kettlebell all the way down and load that, and then attempt to bring the sled back. Normally I'm pretty good at dragging a sled, but today was just not my day. You see my form really starts to break down on those last few kettlebell swings. I start to get pretty freaking tired. So I can just take this time to talk about, how the day went overall. Obviously, I didn't do very well. And there are a number of reasons for that. Well, first of all, I knew going into this that this wasn't primarily what I was training for. Primarily, I'm training for sort of nationals, but mostly my transition both out of the military and into strongman. So I've got next month, I'm about 4.5 weeks out from nationals for powerlifting, and I'm about 5 weeks out from another strongman competition. So long as I feel pretty good the week after nationals, and I'm anticipating feeling pretty good. Oh, here my kettlebell swings are getting real bad. Yeah, it's pretty laughable. I know it's terrible. Chris did fantastic on this medley. I think he placed fourth, and he would have placed even higher had he not stopped before his head crossed the line. He just got his hand across, and then he had to restart pulling the sled. But he did great. Overall, though, I didn't really train any I guess to say wads. I trained the kettlebell swing, I trained the sled, but I never really combined anything. And I didn't realize how much of a mistake that was. I knew my conditioning wasn't perfect, but I knew it was significantly better than it had been. It's just, it's even though I didn't do very well, it's still important to point out I feel significantly better than I did after the Arnold. I felt pretty bad after the Arnold. I'm almost exactly the same weight. I'm right about somewhere in between 280 and 285, but I feel way better. But anyway, I knew going into it that my conditioning wasn't spot on, and here you can tell I'm really, really, really gassed. And it's just it's kind of embarrassing watching, but it happens. I did not prepare as well for this as I could have. But then again, I know, like I said, my primary goal is to transition into strongman and transition out of the military, maybe gain a little bit more weight and not feel too bad. But I think I'm going to be doing a whole lot of wads. If you'll notice, the first event was just the yoke, but it was supposed to be the yoke, double unders, wall balls, and then the yoke back. Well, originally I had been, I'd been talking with people, and I thought I was going to be able to do either 2 or 3 times as many singles just so that I could finish the event, but that did not end up being the case. That changed came the day of the event, and that's their prerogative. That's fine. So I just did the yoke, and that was it. And then I came on to the medley, and didn't really feel all that great. Here I am. You can really see I'm starting to. Oh, computer wants to update. See ya. I'm really starting to fail here shortly. I get to about. I think I try to get to. I get to one more line maybe, and each hash mark representing just a different I think it was 15 feet. I had about 20 seconds left and 30 feet to cover, and there was no way I was even going to make it to the next hash mark. So I just stopped. I don't really enjoy quitting or stopping anything, but there was absolutely no benefit to me continuing to go except for pride, if you will. But I had nothing left. I wasn't adequately prepared for this event in particular, even though I thought I was. In retrospect, maybe I should have brought my rock climbing shoes, but they're a little bit too heavy for this. I think they're going to be suited better for just truck pulls. Here, watch me hit myself in the face with this D-ball. 120 pounds. So I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm trying to follow the video here too. This is a 120 Circus dumbbell. Obviously not all that heavy. I have a 120 Circus dumbbell. I've only messed with it once. I wasn't sure if there was going to be a Circus dumbbell. Here, my form is terrible. Throw it out in front. I talked to Zach McCarley right before this event. I asked him what he thought I should do because I had never really had any success with it. I think I pressed it once when I was here training, but it wasn't. I don't think I would have gotten white lights for that press either. So he suggested that I kind of put the Circus dumbbell against my head, even though it might be a bit uncomfortable. Pretty good press position. So I did that this time. I listened to him, and it felt good. But obviously, I don't have any stability at the top, and I only had 2 attempts to press each implement, so that was it. I probably would have had decent luck pressing the next implement, which is just a 225 barbell. That would have been fine. And then I think there was a 240 or 250 axle. I would have been fine with that. I think I would have been done anyway after that. There was I think the log was 260, 270, somewhere in that range. I'm not quite sure how much that log weighed. But I don't think I would have had it on this day. I still need to obviously train my log press a lot harder. So going into this last event, I had I had a pretty bad day. I was pretty gassed. I was disappointed in how I did. I tried to, with each event, I kind of tried to put it out of my mind and just focused on the next event because, at the time, there's not really any point in dwelling on things. So, about 5 minutes out from the last event, I was just sitting there thinking about how tired I was, and I just sat down on a bench and I kind of watched the last couple guys go before me. And I told myself that, no matter what, I was gonna run out the clock. I was gonna do this until I couldn't push anymore. I didn't. I had nothing left for any number of reasons. Very long day. My conditioning wasn't where it should have been for an event like this. But there were a lot of reasons I came out for this anyway. More on that later. So it's a 650 tire and then a 160 D-ball. I'm kind of glad we did the D-ball. I know Chris didn't really feel like it was better than the stone, but I liked it more than the stone. So we did 9 flips. 9 flips and then 9 D-ball over his shoulder with the 160, and then 6 and then 3. I'm really thankful they dropped the number of reps for that. Originally it was going to be 12.96, and I don't think I would have finished that, but as you'll see here, I finished about 20 or 30 seconds short of the time cap, which I'm happy with it. I mean, obviously my time wasn't breaking any records. First place finished it in 3 minutes. Second place was in 4, and then there were a bunch of guys in the 5-6 range, I believe. But I was pretty toast at this point. I just wanted to finish it. finish off the day as strong as I could because, I'm a decent tire flipper. If that's a profession. Obviously, I want to improve, but, I have a tire in my house. I felt like this tire was, even if it's a little bit heavier than mine, I felt like it was easier than my tire because of I kind of like the treads on this one. The D-ball was kind of neat. I kind of like that. I'm not a huge fan of stone to shoulder because I think it puts a lot of stress on your biceps, particularly if you don't lift it correctly. So, you really got to be careful with an event like that. But, the D-ball felt good right here. It didn't feel all that heavy. This was really just, a test of my endurance because, like I said, I was pretty gassed at this point. But, so there's Chris in the background. I think he finished about a minute and a half faster than me. Chris did very well. He did, a little bit better than me on the first event, and then way better than me on the medley, and quite a bit better than me on this D-ball tire medley. And then he had a good press medley too. I mean, he got the Circus dumbbell up no problem. Obviously, he's a good presser anyway, but he did well in the pressing event, and I think it was he met his demise at was it it was either a 160 or 180 Circus dumbbell. I'm not really sure. It was big. It was a big Circus dumbbell. A couple guys pressed it really easily though. So, knowing that I wasn't in top shape for the Clydesdale games, I still came out because obviously you can see my brother there on the right. I'm actually from Connecticut. Before I joined the military, I lived there for the first about 19 and a half years of my life, and then I spent 4 years in England after that, and I've spent the last 4 years in Texas. So I think that adds up to around my age. I don't know, ballpark, something like that. But anyway, I haven't been back to Connecticut in about 3 years, so it was nice to go back. I stayed with my brother and his girlfriend. His girlfriend's mom made some incredible meatloaf for me Friday night. I need to get the recipe for that. It was truly fantastic. And then, after this, even though I was pretty tired, I took a shower at the CrossFit and went out to dinner with about 15 other people. A lot of people that I hadn't seen since I joined the military. So, in addition to learning a lot about, more about strongman, more about myself, more about how to train for an event like this. Note to self, I don't think I'm going to be doing more events like this. I'm probably just going to focus primarily on strongman and a bit on powerlifting. But anyway, it was definitely worth going back for. I met a lot of really great people. Scott Porter that won the event, that dude embodies everything about a Spartan, and that's what his CrossFit is called, Spartan CrossFit. And yeah, he lives up to that. I told him that I had asked him if anyone ever told him he looked exactly like Michael Fassbender, and he wasn't sure who that was, but I mean, look at him. Looks exactly like Michael Fassbender. And it was really impressive watching him go. He did the medley. His medley was, pretty epic. And then I got to watch him do the stone D-ball, and that was pretty awesome too. He kind of got one-upped by the second place guy. His name was Dave. He finished about a minute faster on the stone D-ball medley, and that was ridiculous. I mean, how fast he finished it. I think it was something like 3:10 in that range. I mean, he just blew through it, and then he was standing up talking, 10 seconds later. No problem. Didn't even seem to get tired. So, Scott Porter ended up taking the day. He did excellent. Dave, I only got to watch him do the tire and D-ball. I got to let him borrow my belt. Maybe the belt will give me a little bit of good luck now. I don't know about that. But let him borrow my belt and for his yoke. I'm not sure how he placed in that, but he ended up second, so he did well. And then Zach McCarley, he placed third. I was able to watch him do the first event, part of the first event, part of the second event, and then I saw his tire and D-ball medley, and he did pretty damn well. He's a extremely strong and very efficient strongman. I know I was following his log going into the meet because, you know, when you search for Clydesdale games, not a lot of stuff came up. But his log came up, so that's when I started kind of paying attention to what he was doing. Because he's a lightweight pro strongman with some very, very respectable numbers. In addition to winning the America's Strongest Man under 231 for the past 2 years, I believe. He got injured at the Arnold, but, you know, he's coming back strong, and he had an awesome day, and he was very helpful in, you know, just teaching me a few things, particularly with the Circus dumbbell. So many thanks to him for that. And then here we've got me finishing this off, and there's the Spartan in the background, and I'm just totally gassed at this point. You know what? So thanks for watching, guys. If you got any more questions, just shoot them to me in an email. I'll talk to you in a little bit. See ya.